Welcome to JackHorney.com show.
Okay, I'm going to do one. I'm going to talk about DriveTribe because it's interesting. I think it's been going a few years. I'm not sure how long, but I don't know how well it's taken off. If you haven't, basically, folks, if you haven't seen it, it's an app and a website, and I think it's been set up, or the main people have pumped money in. But what I'm reading is Jeremy Clarkson, May and Richard Hammond. And the idea is it's supposed to be a bit like Twitter, I think, but just for car enthusiasts. And the main ones on there, I think it was the three I've just mentioned, were putting videos on it. But I'm going to predict this site ain't going to do that well, or isn't. Now I've looked at it, when I've gone on it, basically I've used the app and I deleted it after a couple of days. I got bored with it. It's just ugh. See, the first problem is it's a car only app website. Now there's a lot of forums out there that have been going years for cars, dedicated ones. And there's also some very good websites out there that have been going on, and they're actually very attractive sites. I mean, if you was going to look up about a car, there's other sites I think you'd go to first. So that's why I think that there's a problem with this. The website doesn't look particularly nicely laid out. It feels a bit. It's there just to make adverts, basically. It's just got little adverts everywhere. And I don't even think they're very effective, because it's at the bottom you see they're sponsored by or something. I think the app, when I used it, had bigger adverts. I can't remember. It's a while since I've looked at it. But why I think it'll fail is because, well, it's been going so long, and I don't think it's getting much more traction. The trouble is, there's only so many car enthusiasts that you can attract. I mean, you are limited there on that alone. I think the site might have done better if they hadn't had it limited just cars. Had it for everyone. So it'd be a bit, like Facebook isn't just for students, it's for everybody. So, and people go off and use it in whatever ways they want. So, I mean, I don't use Facebook. It's just, it looks a bit. I used to, but I got a bit fed up of it. I think really, it came too complicated to me. It's just got too many bits on. I think I enjoyed it to begin with, but I think over. It's a bit confusing, and I don't know, but I know a lot of people still use it, but I'm not sure if. I think Facebook isn't as popular as it once was. I might be wrong. But anyway, this is a sort of Facebook-ish, Twitter-ish type site for car enthusiasts. The trouble is, the website isn't particularly the most attractive. It's like a blog. It's like a WordPress blog, but not as good. I mean, I think they'd have been better off just having keeping it a simple WordPress blog. I mean, I've got a feeling they've ploughed millions into this, and quite honestly, I'd have simply set up a WordPress blog, which is free, and had people running it, because that would have done everything this site does in many ways, and probably less messy. I mean, it's a bit, to look around, it just feels a bit. Well, you can't. It doesn't feel like a site you can look around. I tried to, and I got fed up within 2 minutes. And the pictures they've got, they don't look particularly nice. The ones that I looked at, I don't know why, if they've been shot on a camera phone or something and shrunk or something, but they just feel a bit blurry. They don't feel nice and sharp, and when it's a car site, especially, you want really stunning pictures on everything, and this just goes, ugh. They don't grab you in. And I think that's a bit disappointing. I don't know if they've changed it. When I went on it about a year ago, it felt like it was the main 3%ers. They were the main article makers. And then other people can add stuff. I mean, they call it, it's a horrible name. I don't like it. I keep thinking it's DriveTime. I spent before I did this today. I thought I'll talk about it because I've gone. I see the YouTube vids. You see, one of the things about I keep meaning to say DriveTime, which would have been a brilliant website for them. That would have been gorgeous. Main reason is because they could have done it as a radio station. And it'd been, it would have sounded brilliant that. But DriveTribe, it doesn't. It's. Ugh. I mean, they've got one, I think, as a food one as well. I mean, what they're going to do, it doesn't work doing them separate. You need it as one site for anybody. So even if you're not a car enthusiast, you could go on there and talk about, I don't know, teddy bears, anything. But it feels like it's not the nicest of sites. In fact, it's terrible. It feels. I read on one comment on YouTube, somebody said it's like the British Leyland of websites. It's not that good, and it doesn't feel it. But what's interesting is that they seem to now, all 3%ers now seem to be doing the shows directly onto YouTube, which almost destroys the point of having the website. I mean, in reality, if I was them, I'd just make the website a single blog, and it just have them three doing the videos. I mean, you see, James May's quite good on doing the videos because he does things like repairing trains and stuff, and they're fascinating videos. And also, I think people enjoy listening to Clarkson moan about stuff. And the other one, Hammond, he's alright doing sort of little reviews. But I think that's what they should be doing, rather than the format it is. I mean, I don't know if people get paid to put the videos up. You see, the trouble is, YouTube does pay people, and if you get good on YouTube, you can get millions of views. I mean, the whatever they call themselves, the YouTube channel, it's got about 1 million followers, and I've seen some of the video clips. I think they get 1 million. They've had up to 1 million views, which is good. But when you compare that to some kid opening a box of sweets, they can get 10 million for this, and that's no budget type things. I mean, there's a lot of people out there doing millions and millions of views on the videos, and they've got more followers. So that in itself isn't, to say that the stars, these celebrities, massive ones, in reality, they should be getting 10 million views rather than 1 million on YouTube. But like I say, it'll be interesting how it goes. I mean, on the YouTube ones, they're always saying, "Oh, go on the website, go on the website." But they're trying to. I think they're using YouTube to try and get people to join it. But bizarrely, they haven't put DriveTribe.com on it. They've just put DriveTribe. So a lot of people, when you read the comments, don't realise there's a website linked, and the fact it's an app and stuff. They're only just watching the YouTube things, and so I don't think they fully understand what they're doing. It's weird, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I've got a feeling it's not going as well as they wanted or expected. Like I say, a lot of it just. I've read the articles, and it just when you read them, it doesn't. They don't look as nice as a WordPress blog. It's really difficult on the eyes to read on the website, and on the phone app. I didn't really enjoy reading it on there either. It's not something that you'd sort of spend a long time reading. I don't think, and it's difficult because I've seen other websites, dedicated ones, that have been going years, and that's really just the magazine ones, the car magazine ones that have converted to the websites, and they're just much nicer to do. Because they're written by journalists and they're quite interesting. That there's the right thing. The articles aren't that interesting. The bit it just feels we'll just put anything about anything. Um, I mean, to me, there's a lot on there which is just unnecessary. I mean, personally, if it was me, I'd have just that as I'd scrap it all, turn it into a WordPress blog, and just have the three guys right and doing like an amusing once a week at least, doing a podcast type thing. Maybe sat around talking. You see, the trouble is that on the TV shows, I think they did well on the BBC because it was the only thing that worth watching at the time. Everything all turned into sort of political correct, blah, bland, blah. And they were slightly better than that. They weren't that sort of political correct blandness. But the trouble was, and it's always been to me, it feels like it's all the jokes were scripted. They used to have when they have the meetings when they sat around the table. It didn't feel like I might be wrong. Maybe that it was natural, but it felt like they'd written that script a week ago, and they were just reading out a script, pretending it was like spontaneous, and it never felt spontaneous. Um, all the way through it felt scripted, and that I think has been, when you're doing these shows, it's podcasts. They're not comedians in that sense that they could just sit there. Well, I might be wrong. They might be able to. But you see, like I say, I think James May is good at doing things like. I mean, he does all these videos, the technical stuff, and it's fascinating. I mean, he can talk about anything. It's fascinating. I mean, out of them all, I think he's the most interesting because I like that stuff. I like how he sits and talks about stuff, and how he's got an interest. I mean, I was watching a video of his on YouTube where he's repairing a train set, and it's fantastic to listen to. Um, I mean, there's a guy next to him, which is the guy's the owner, but um, it'd have almost been better that it was James May on his own because I think the other guy was trying to be a bit of a presenter, and it felt, ugh. But when James May does it, it feels really just natural and it's a quite nice flow. I mean, it never feels scripted. If it is, it's well done. But it always feels like it's just naturally just sits there and just talks. And it's fascinating to listen to. And like I say, Clarkson is quite good at just moaning. I mean, I think people enjoy him moaning about stuff, and you could do that almost daily. Just talk about something in the papers. And like I say, the other one, Hammond, you could get him just to review cars or something. He's all right doing that. I mean, that's how I do it. I'd put the videos on YouTube and then also on the blog and the podcasts on there. And I'm sure they'd probably make a fortune doing advertising that way. Um, but I just don't see this app being. I mean, if they'd made the app just an average thing, I think they'd have done a lot better. And they'll just let it develop. But the trouble was, a while ago, it did feel like it was the first people you'd go on the app, and I think on the website, but I might be wrong, is it with them three. So, and I don't know if they're paying people to, because I think they're wanting people to produce their own videos and articles and stuff, but I don't know if they're paying people or not. And even if they are they going to make as much as if they did it on YouTube themselves or even on their own site? I mean, in reality, it's so easy to set up a WordPress blog that you could do much nicer than this DriveTribe thing. And put your own adverts on there and run it yourself. And if obviously, if you build up millions of views on YouTube, it's your own traffic you're sending. You can do stuff yourself. But anyway, like I say, I've seen one review on there and it's pretty negative of it. I think the guy did some videos, and he just got fed up of it. And people under that, they've made comments. They don't seem to. A lot of people seem to say they used it a bit and quit. So, I mean, like I say, it's just an awful name. I hate the name DriveTribe. I mean, you see, in my mind, I'm always saying DriveTime. Now, the reason why I thought for a while that DriveTime, you see, will be a good one, because if it was me, I'd actually do a radio station with them. Well, a podcast that maybe an hour or two with music and stuff that people could download to and listen to as they're driving. But the tribe thing, ugh. They're trying to be a bit. You see, the trouble is, you could get away with it maybe if you're in the youth category, but they're not. I don't think they're aiming to the youth. Although in one article, I think they're claiming that they've got some stats and they're aiming to a much younger audience, but I can't see it. I'd imagine a lot of people who go on that are going to be over 40, or at least over 30. I might be wrong. Um, it just, I mean, I look at it and I just don't like the site. I just think they could have used WordPress and it'd have been 100% much nicer. It just seems, ugh. I mean, ugh. But still, let's just say it'll be interesting how it develops. I think I think they've invested a lot of money and they'll want to carry it on rather than just say, look, it ain't working. Let's turn it into a simple WordPress blog and just plow, let's make money. Because the YouTube videos are nice. The trouble is that they've got the TV show. But will that carry on? I mean, you see, it cost, what was it, Amazon a fortune, I think. I'm not sure. It'd be interesting they covered the costs on it. Has it encouraged people to sign up? I mean, that Amazon TV thing or whatever it's called, I looked at, they give you a month free, but I signed up by accident and I looked at it and honestly, I mean, this was before Jeremy Clarkson went on it, so I don't know. You're going back a while, but there wasn't anything on it worth watching to me. They were really, it was appalling. I mean, I wouldn't pay to watch that. It felt like stuff you could watch on YouTube free. So perhaps they've got better shows now. So at the moment, when it comes to paying to watch TV, I think the only two I'd consider is Netflix and possibly the Disney Plus, just for that Star Wars show. But then again, I think, well, if I do sign up to Netflix, perhaps I'll just end up spending all my time watching it and not getting anything else done. But I do think it's the one that I won't sign that BBC up. I mean, you could give me it free. I don't think I'd even bother looking at it. I've gone off the BBC. I mean, it used to be a good show anyway. I'm going off subject here, but I mean, it's just bland, isn't it? The BBC. In fact, ITV, and it's particularly special. I don't think I've watched. I mean, I used to watch Coronation Street and all this stuff. I haven't watched it for about 2 or 3 years now. People keep asking me if I watched telly the other night, and I keep saying never watch it. I just can't bring myself. I look on the I look on the Radio Times website, and I just look and go, there's nothing on there. Every day I do this, and I haven't ever seen anything that particularly grabs my attention. I look tonight, and it's just what's on the BBC. Well, it's just a repeat of League of Gentlemen, and it's that 3 series one. They did a sort of special one. I think it's that one, and it wasn't very good. The original series was good, going back a few years, but that 3-part one, I just thought, nah. You just thought it just felt like they were just putting out the same lines. It just didn't have anything to it. But anyway, yeah, that's just my. Like I say, I looked at this DriveTribe thing, and honestly, I think you really must be a car enthusiast to do it. But I just don't understand why they've limited themselves just to car people. I mean, the whole point of social media is you don't limit to anyone, and that's how you build it up. Just limiting to the car people is You see, the people who've got that sort of interest in cars, although there's a lot of people who drive, not everyone's that bothered about, it's like my mate, she likes a car, she likes to have a brand new car, but she can tell you anything about it. She just likes the look of it. And that's it, that's all it's important. That's for most people, that's all that matters. People who are into cars, okay, there's maybe a few thousand. Even if you got 1 million worldwide, it's nothing for an app that for an app to succeed, you need millions and millions and millions and millions of people, especially if there's content on there. I mean, it's very. I don't know any of that limits people like that on social media. I mean, that's why such as Facebook took off, because it's basically but social media is basically like a phone. It's that's what you're putting out. It's a form of communication. The phone firm doesn't set it up just for car enthusiasts. It's for everyone, and that's sort of basically social media is a sort of extended version of a phone. You use it to contact people. But this just feels. I mean, I wasn't sure if it's just that companies advertising their products. It just doesn't feel. It just. I mean, again, I'll give it a try in a few more months. But I was just looking at. I spent an hour looking at the website today, so I thought I'd be up to date. And boy, I was bored out of my mind. And then my little adverts look dreadful on the bottom of the website. And again, I haven't bothered with a phone app because I just couldn't be bothered with it. I tried it once, and when I scrolled, I don't know if they changed it. It seemed to be big adverts all the time. I mean, and again, you see, you're limiting yourself on the advertising side because there's no point. The bulk of the advertisers are going to be car related, and you see, I don't know. I just don't see, from an advertising point of view, I just don't see the point of advertising on there, because I'm not sure you're going to get a good response. I mean, I think I saw a car rental firm advertising there, and I thought, well, if you're a car enthusiast, you probably own the cars, you're probably not interested in renting the car. These people are into it anyway. We'll see, but the concept, I think it's something somebody thought of late at night and thought, oh, that's a good idea. We're famous. We'll get millions of people on there. But I don't know. I think they've limited. I think having it limited to just cars was a mistake. If they'd done it for all sorts, it might have been successful. Just allowed. I mean, this thing about the tribe thing, I still haven't got my head around. I think it's supposed to be groups of people. See, if tribe's supposed to be like maybe if you're into escorts or something. It's just, ugh. It doesn't grab me at all. I mean, if they sold that website so you could download it as like to run it yourself, I wouldn't bother myself. I mean, like I said, it's I think they'd have been better off having a WordPress blog, because you see the advantage of WordPress is you can get loads of people to log in, give them all a password and write their own articles, or even they could just send them in. That's how I'd have done it. Simpler. I mean, it's an overcomplicated system for something that could have been done. I could set that up in 2 minutes without any cost. 40 quid a month hosting, if that. No, in fact, no, I could do it probably on. I think I've got quite a big website host, So I've got one that's got hundreds of thousands of pages on. One of my websites has got thousands and thousands of pages, and I think I pay $8 a month. So I don't think I could. I think I could do a WordPress blog like this, much nicer. I mean, I could convert everything on there. Just take all the articles, whack it on the WordPress blog, and do it that way, and make it much nicer. Or was doing it possibly like the Daily Mail website. That I'm not sure if that's custom because a few sites seem very similar in look. So unless they've copied each other, I think it might be one firm and they've just purchased it. It could be an off-the-shelf system. That might I'd have done it like because it's nicely laid out. But I think doing it from the way they've done it is a very costly way of doing it, and I don't think it looks particularly good. I don't like the results at all. I mean, it's not the nicest looking website. In fact, I'd say it's quite poor. But maybe I mean, they do have a few views. I think when I was looking, they've got like 36 views on an article. But then I actually flipped over to reading a review from I think 2016 on one website which I've never heard of, and that website was writing about this website, saying how it was raising money or something. I think it might have been before the site launched, and that article alone, I think, had 800,000 views. So you know, you can see big sites. Well, I don't think this. I don't think it. Well, 30,000 views for an article on Drive, whatever it's called, sounds a lot. When you compare it to other big sites, I don't think that's a lot. I think other big sites can easily generate millions of views without any difficulty. And I think if you're an advertiser, you're going to put your money into a site that gets millions of views or just one that's the. But maybe the DriveTime does convert better. I mean, that's also important. I mean, you know, if you get 10 views on a site, but every 10 buys something from you, that's better than putting your advert on a site that gets millions of views, but no one buys from you. But so we'll see. It's an interesting one. I like to look at websites and review them and see. So I do it from my own personal view. Other people probably disagree with me, but still. All right then. Bye.